The FIFA World Cup is one of the biggest and most exciting events in the world, but its impact on the environment is undeniable. The 2014 Games were responsible for almost 1.5 million tonnes of greenhouse gas emissions. However, the Brazilian hosts decided to make the tournament as climate-friendly as possible. The main sources of emissions were transportation and accommodation of fans, construction of infrastructure, energy use, and waste production. The first step was to calculate emissions and find ways to prevent or reduce as much as possible.
So with the carbon footprint measure, we started to develop the main programs to reduce greenhouse gases emissions. And the main programs were focused on energy efficiency, renewable energy like the solar panels, the waste management, the transport system, and the results were about 14% of reduction of emissions.
In Belo Horizonte, for example, the Mineirão Stadium was fitted with 6,000 solar panels, enough to power the equivalent of 1,200 homes. Collected rainwater was used for irrigation and cleaning. A comprehensive waste recycling program was introduced. And a bus rapid transport system was built to connect the stadium. It's now used by over 500,000 residents per day. To compensate for unavoidable emissions, the government chose offsetting through the Clean Development Mechanism. The Clean Development Mechanism, or CDM, was introduced as part of the Kyoto Protocol to help address climate change and contribute to sustainable development. CDM projects in developing countries reduce greenhouse gas emissions through, for example, renewable energy use, reforestation, or switching to cleaner fuel sources. For every tonne of emissions reduced, one saleable CER, or Certified Emission Reduction Credit, is earned. These credits can be sold to countries to meet part of their emission reduction obligations, companies and organisations, or individuals, and used to offset or neutralise the emissions that they've generated.
We chose CDM as an offsetting scheme because it's a solid and transparent instrument that is part of an international convention. Offsetting accounted for 39% of neutralization of the games, so it was a very successful initiative.
Sobre é possível você vir a evento e causar menos impacto do ponto de vista não só ambiental, mas do ponto de vista de emissões, isso é desejável se a gente quer um mundo realmente engajado na solução de mudança do clima nesse século. Nós temos que usar todos os espaços políticos disponíveis, não só nas negociações formais, mas aqueles efetivamente que têm a ver com o comportamento de cada um de nós.
The World Cup in Brazil shows that big events can successfully minimize their environmental impact by measuring emissions, reducing what's possible, and offsetting the rest. By taking a lead on climate action, event organisers can play an essential role in inspiring change and paving the way towards a low-carbon future.